Have you ever wondered how much water it takes to grow the crops that feed you? Or even where that water comes from to grow our food? The Ogallala Aquifer is the primary source of irrigation crops in the High Plains area, yet it's not well known. I would like to inform listeners about Nebraska's natural reservoir that provides for millions, and also to inform on how its resources are abused and what Nebraskans can do to prevent it. I've done extensive research on this topic, and when I was in elementary school, I visited Ogallala, and there they have a small museum full of information about the aquifer. The aquifer has a long history of providing for people, but in the last century it's been taken advantage of due to its usefulness. There are things Nebraskans can do every day to help solve this problem. Majority of the food that provides for the United States is grown in the High Plains region. Under this region is the Ogallala Aquifer. This aquifer underlies parts of the 8 Great Plains states, or 174,000 square miles. If it were spread all across the 50 states, each state would be covered in 1.5 feet of water. An aquifer is defined as a body of permeable rock that can contain or transmit groundwater. In more simple terms, it is a reservoir for groundwater. An aquifer is made up of 4 parts: the permeable soil layer, the semi-permeable soil layer, the water table itself, and probably the most important part, the aqueduct. The top 2 layers are composed of sedimentary rocks that allow water, like precipitation from rain and melted snow, to seep through the joints and cracks till it reaches the water table. There it is stored and can't seep any further into the ground because the aqueduct, made of clay and rock, prevents it from doing so. Nebraska is special for a couple of reasons. First, the aquifer covers the majority of the state, and secondly, although the average depth for the Ogallala Aquifer is 200 feet, in parts of west central Nebraska, it's over 1,000 feet deep. The aquifer has been used by Americans ever since its discovery. Advancements in technology allowed wells to drill deep enough to reach its bottom, and pumps were put in to pull the water to the surface for practical uses. Some of these include industrial, domestic, mining, and livestock, but the agricultural industry accounts for 94% of its usage. Now that you understand what an aquifer is, you need to know the problem. Nebraska uses the most water out of the aquifer at a whopping 46%. This isn't necessarily the problem, but the problem is that the depletion rate, or the rate at which the water from the aquifer is being used up, is much greater than the rate of the natural recharge, or the rate of which the aquifer fills back up from natural runoff. Before modern farming practices, the natural recharge rate was able to compensate for the depletion rate. But with the advancement of farming practices and tools, the depletion rate has grown at an alarming rate. The average recharge rate is 2.59 millimeters per year, but after data released by the NWLA, the depletion rate has reached 54.86 meters. At this rate, the aquifer will be drained in 15 to 250 years, depending on the area. Nebraska is less likely to have it happen soon, but if the rate of depletion doesn't decrease, other states will use up the water more quickly, and will turn to us to attempt to take our water. Many people not in the agricultural environment don't even know the aquifer itself, let alone realize how important it is. According to Jane Little, if the aquifer goes dry, more than 200 million worth of food and fiber will vanish from the world's markets, and scientists say it will take natural processes 6,000 years to refill the reservoir. This is a huge problem because without the aquifer, farming practices become difficult to near impossible, making it hard to feed the world. This isn't the only problem. Another issue that occurs is contamination. Contamination occurs when dangerous chemicals and toxic waste are dumped on the surface or improperly disposed of. When they are exposed to the surface soil, they, like water, can seep down into the water table. Once they reach it, it becomes contaminated and must be filtered when it reaches the surface. This is a problem because not only is it illegal, but it can be harmful to crops, humans, and animals. Now that you understand the problem that faces the Ogallala Aquifer, I can explain some solutions. To prevent contaminations, governments can pass laws for stricter chemical dumping laws, and another possible solution is farmers using natural pesticides that don't poison the water. As a resident of Nebraska, one step you can take to influence your local ag community to be safe and smart while using harmful substances. The key to fixing the rate of depletion problem is teamwork. If the agricultural community came together and came with solutions on how to use less water, it would be beneficial. beneficial. There are a few advancements in tech and science that will help save water. Those include devices allowing irrigation systems to be controlled mobilely, advancements in crop engineering to modify plant genetics to require less water to survive, and simply designing products to make water usage more efficient. If the agricultural community doesn't work together, then the Ogallala Aquifer will be depleted and will become a wasteland. The farmers of the High Plains region will eventually run out of water for the farms and businesses will fail. The issue could be way worse than many think. Some people predict that when the water runs out, a food shortage will soon follow, and then an economic meltdown. This issue should not be taken lightly. In conclusion, the Ogallala Aquifer is the primary source of irrigation crops in the High Plains area, yet many locals don't know the impact it has. I've explained what an aquifer is and how it works. Next, I explain how the water from it is used. After this, I explain the impending problem with the aquifer. Its resources are slowly dwindling away and it's being contaminated. To solve this problem, the ag community needs to work together to save one of our most valuable resources.